everybody and welcome to this week's Sam versus Lee with us at the FPL Family. Not the greatest week ever again in this competition.
It's actually two themes though, back to back, that were quite difficult. So,
yes, yeah, they were.
Or are we making excuses?
Yeah, we might be making excuses.
Okay.
All right, so
let's
recap it then. So last week's theme was the bottom 6 sides. The bottom 5 sides.
And they all had really hard fixtures,
They did, and they were all away from home as well. So we had Norwich, Villa, Bournemouth, Watford and West Ham to pick from. All difficult fixtures, all away from home. Oh, didn't go that well. Okay, so...
Please tell me it went better than when I picked Abraham that got injured and you had Vardy that got left out the week before. That was a bad week.
I think it was worse.
Worse, okay, good, excellent.
Okay, so you had Sarr, who blanked and got 2 points.
Good, okay.
You had Samatta, who obviously got...
What was I thinking? What was I thinking there? They look bad, Villa, by the way. Don't they? I mean, do they look... I mean, they're dead and buried, aren't they? Yes, of course they can get out of it. Of course they've got players like Grealish and Mings that can make a difference. But goodness me, they're really bad against Leicester, weren't they?
But this is the thing, it's looking tough for all of these sides right now. And the players that we picked, didn't get a lot of joy from them.
Okay.
You also, to finish you off, you had Maximilian Arons from Norwich. So that was another 2-pointer, grand total of 6.
6 points.
My little band of merry men.
Go on.
Bit less merry.
Less merry?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had Target, who got destroyed by Leicester, got 0.
Right, yeah.
Great.
Good, okay.
Great, thanks. Fornells.
Did any of our players get anything?
He got 1.
Okay.
And Dini got 2, so I got 3.
Good, okay. So I win the point, if you can call that a win. Second week in a row when I feel like I've stolen it.
Yeah. Well done.
Good, yeah. Well, congratulations. Maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
Get in the comments below. Let us know. If you've got a better theme than the ones that we've been seeing. Woof, we need them. We need a good theme. One where we're actually going to get some points.
I've picked one this week. I'm hoping this one's going to give us some points.
Good. So the comments last week were good because there was good themes. We need to back that up. We need more good themes, guys.
Yeah, there was actually lots of really good themes this week. Lots of them that I thought, that could be a good points return.
Good. So what is this week's theme? Let's hear about it.
Well, first of all, I was right last week when I said you were 6.5, 6.5, 5.5 up.
Okay.
So now you're 7.5, 5.5. So I have to do a little bit of work this week.
All right.
A bit like Spurs, actually. So there you are. Okay, so game week.
In case anyone watching has realised, we've literally, the full-time whistle has just gone in the Leipzig game and Sam is not in a good mood. Let me tell you, not in a good mood.
Things can only get better.
They can only get better.
In Sam versus Lee and at Spurs. Okay, so game week 30 then. This week's theme comes from Victor Ozeg.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Victor.
Victor. Who said, suggestion, players from other clubs that you think would improve the teams you are cheering for.
Yeah, no,
Spurs and Liverpool.
So this is weird. I like this theme, but it's a weird one because for me, how many players am I going to pick in FPL that are going to improve Liverpool right now?
I mean, I could pick the whole league.
Players that can improve Spurs, yes, you have a large pool to pick from. But players that improve Liverpool, can we use a bit of... and I know that I do this most weeks. Can we use a bit of artistic license? Can we go for players that would improve Liverpool's squad?
Well, I mean, I partly think, given I'm losing that, I should just say no. You have to only pick players that would improve Liverpool.
There's no one. Who would improve Liverpool?
You can only pick KDB, so you have to go into it with just one player. And then I'll be guaranteed. But that would be...
Don't fancy him in FPL right now.
No, maybe not. So yeah, all right, go on then. You can have teams that would improve Liverpool's squad.
Good.
Players, rather. The only caveat that Victor put was that you can only have 1 per club. So otherwise, standard rules apply. So 1 per club. And a defender, a midfielder and a forward. Now, given that Spurs have no forwards right now, I've got the pick of the bunch.
Who do you pick, yeah?
Okay, so would you like
Troy Parrott, very good. Go on.
Would you like to start or shall I?
I'd like to hear who you are going to improve Spurs with, yeah. So start with your defender, because frankly, it could be me, frankly, at the minute. 4.0 starting defender.
I'm going to pick someone that is significantly better than you, that is arguably the best defender in the league. In my opinion,
go on.
Anyway, and I'm going to pick Trent.
Okay, yeah, he's a bit better than me.
I think he's a lot better than you. I think at Spurs we need a defender who can defend, but also a defender that has some pace and can attack, because that's how, you know, we do like to play. So yeah, Trent it is gonna be, he's expensive, but there was no caveats around price tag, so 7.8 million I'll invest.
Who currently plays right back for Spurs? I don't even know anyone. Is it Tanganga?
Quite frankly, it could be anyone. Like, we never know from week to week who's going to play there.
This is a really easy thing for you. This is pick who you want from FPL.
If I lose this,
you should win this easily. Go on, Trent. All right, you can. Okay, Trent. Yes.
So he has blanked the last 2 game weeks.
Yeah.
Through no fault of his own, in reality. But before that, he did have 11 returns in a row. It is the derby this weekend, so that did kind of make me ponder on picking a Liverpool defender, because obviously I could have just gone Salah or Mane.
Yeah.
But
thoughts on Liverpool getting through against Atletico, lifting the Premier League trophy, or at least winning it at Goodison, and Trent and a few others maybe getting a rest against Crystal Palace because he's saving them for the next round of the Champions League?
Matters not to me, because I only need him for this purpose for game week 30.
That's what I'm saying. He could get rested, right?
But not for game week 30.
Okay, yeah,
he's going to play against Everton. I just
yeah.
won't pick him for game week 31 on that basis.
True,
I think he's going to get rested, so we'll be okay. So yeah, he's my defender of choice. How on earth are you going to improve the back line at Liverpool?
Well, it's very difficult. Very difficult.
Tanganga?
No, it's definitely not Tanganga. Very difficult to say, but again, I feel like if there's one area of that back line where Liverpool are short from a squad perspective, it's at left back. Now, I'm doing this a week after James Milner filled in there
and
did a fantastic job against Bournemouth, including an absolutely heroic goal line clearance. But nevertheless, I'm going to go for a left back. And I'm going to pick, just because I can, and this is Sam versus Lou, we make the rules, I'm going to pick Alonso. Because Alonso, I think, would be a great squad player for Liverpool. Wouldn't play every week, because Robertson would play there. But listen, I think he's banging form right now. If Frank Lampard decides to go for that 3-5-2 and he plays in that on the wing, he is going to give Aston Villa, and in particular Gilbert, the Aston Villa fullback, who had a torrid time against Harvey Barnes in that Leicester. I mean, Harvey Barnes absolutely retired Gilbert last Monday. So if he unleashes Alonso against Gilbert, I think there's something in it there for Alonso, not just defensively, but offensively as well. If you go back and watch the captaincy video that David and Joe put on the Fantasy Football Scout YouTube channel earlier this week, you will know that defensively Villa are all over the place, and you didn't need a David and Joe video to tell you that. You could just watch them against Leicester. They are bad. They are the whipping boys right now, particularly down that flank. They are very, very... I think they're vulnerable, and I think Alonso can do the business. Even if Frank Lampard goes 4-4-2, I still back him to keep a clean sheet. So even I could get a 6 from Alonso, which frankly would be more than the points I've got in Sam versus Lee in the last 2 weeks. So I'll take the Alonso clean sheet. I will take the going forward attacking returns, and I'll take the direct free kick that he's going to get for an 18-pointer this weekend.
This is creative licence gone mental. Like, there is absolutely no way that this is a thing. Right, I think you're cheating. These guys can decide whether Alonso...
He would improve our squad. Alonso would improve the Liverpool squad.
At this moment in time, you've got an injured goalkeeper and you're playing Adrian, who's making mistakes all over the place.
Yeah.
Why would you not pick a... It would improve your squad to have a better keeper,
Alisson.
not to have Alonso on the bench.
I'm glad Alonso made the rules.
Ridiculous.
Done. Midfielder, go.
All right, midfielder. I'm outraged. In much the same way that you thought about Alonso in reality and picked a Chelsea player for that reason against Villa, I'm going to go with Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick...
Good picks this week, Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Willian as the midfielder. Now, actually, in terms of the Spurs midfield aren't that bad. There's a lot of good midfielders at Spurs. Don't look like that. There are a lot of good midfielders at Spurs. There's also a lot of injured good midfielders at Spurs with the likes of Bergwijn and Son. So... I do need somebody, but I don't feel like...
Who's a good midfielder at Spurs right now, other than Dele Alli?
Dele Alli, Lo Celso, decent. Not you.
Go on then, Willian, okay.
So Willian it is. Now, Willian obviously got a huge haul last week, so... Yeah.
Good form before that as well, 1-1-1.
Yeah.
And then
a massive haul.
A big haul.
So,
typical Willian.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, you know, in much what you've just said about Aston Villa, they've lost their confidence, haven't they, massively? The league, but even before the League Cup final, they'd lost their confidence. I was hoping that the League Cup final might might rejuvenate some kind of fighting spirit in them, but then the Leicester game on Monday night happened and it was like, actually it's maybe done more harm than it has done good. So yeah, Willian it is, 6.9 million, got a goal and an assist in game week 29, nice fixture against Villa. Yeah.
What's interesting about the way that Chelsea is set up right now is obviously Abraham's injured. That brings Giroud into the fold. Now Giroud for me is he's a very Firmino-esque player. He will win it, bring it down, get it under control, play in those guys in that sort of Salah and Mane role, which, as we saw against Everton, was Pedro and Willian.
Yeah.
Both had really good games. Also brought Mount into the game because Mount's very forward-thinking as well. So any one of those three, I think are good picks. Giroud's a good pick as well, by the way. But any one of those three are all right picks, I would say.
Yeah, and I think we shouldn't. It's getting to that time of the season where we're looking at clubs that have something to fight for, right? So not only do I think Willian will improve Spurs, but equally I think that Willian is playing for a Chelsea side that need to win games to make sure that they finish fourth.
They get that top four, won't they, Chelsea?
Should do, but they still need to keep winning the games. And I think this last weekend was a good start on that, and we just need to build on it. Who's your midfielder of choice? How are you going to improve on Salah and Mane?
Well, no, so, I guess you could...
KDB, really.
Difficult, but I was more thinking that midfield three, actually. I was thinking that three in midfield. Now, I do, obviously, Wijnaldum, Henderson and Fabinho, very difficult to improve upon that, isn't it? And as it's shown this season, I'm saying this in a very, very smug tone in my voice, Liverpool's so good. But there is a player that has just arrived at the Premier League that I think is an absolute baller, and I think would fit into our midfield three, and if we add him, I think Klopp would get even more out of him than Ollie's getting out of him. Bruno Fernandes.
Already this season, haven't you?
Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to go with again, and he's only been in the league like a month, and I've picked him twice already in Sam versus League. He's in my FPL team, probably going to be my captain as well this week, simply because they are playing, and you won't like this, I'm afraid, but are playing a really out of form Spurs side right now, and a Spurs side that really struggling to defend. The underlying stats look really, really bad. Again, go back and look at Joe and David's captaincy video. They talk about Villa and their stats being proper whipping boy status. Next up on that rung, Spurs. They are the next rung on that ladder of whipping boy status. They are down there. They're conceding a lot of goals, and their XGC, their expected goals conceded, is actually worse than they are conceding. It's actually lucky not to concede more, Spurs. And if you look at that Burnley game that was played last game,
that's enough of this nonsense. Yeah, so move on.
Look at that Burnley game last week. Spurs could have been 2 or 3 down at half time, and that is not an understatement.
But we weren't.
Meanwhile, at Old Trafford, Bruno is putting up trees.
They look you tonight.
They look full of beans, Manchester United. Something like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 clean sheets in the last 5 or 6 games. So not only are they turning it on offensively, but defensively as well. They're obviously improving, and that's providing a confidence. As soon as you get that back line sorted out, as soon as you start keeping clean sheets, confidence permeates throughout the team, and then it just accelerates as it gets to Bruno. So he's on penalties, as we know, as we think, on set pieces. He's come and he's just absolutely, he's a great player, I think. So he's still only 15.5% team selected by, so still a little bit of a differential.
Game week 31 in mind, isn't it?
Game week 31, people probably aren't going to bring him in because they're going to look at the Spurs game and say, well, that on paper is a hard game. Yeah. Not playing in 31, but in 32, he's definitely going to be in my team from 32. But for those of you that have got him now and are thinking of benching him for game week 31, I think he's a nice differential captaincy option for game week 30. So there it is, Bruno Fernandes. Forwards.
This one was a little bit more tricky, as it was to say apparently as well.
Yeah.
Simply because
Spurs don't have any forwards right now, so
I mean, yeah. So from that point of view, it's easy, right? But it's tricky from the point of view of I can't go for Firmino because I've already picked a Liverpool player.
Yeah.
Chelsea don't. I could go Giroud, but I've already got Willian, and Abraham's injured, who's the obvious kind of pick if you were going to go for a striker at Chelsea. Man United, Rashford's injured, so
Martial's playing there, so yeah, he's midfielder, right?
Yeah, but he's midfielder, so I can't go that. Arsenal, I just can't go there.
Why not?
I cannot.
Brighton.
I
really
cannot
right now.
sit here as a Spurs fan and say that an Arsenal player would improve the Spurs side.
That is true. You can't say that. That is true. Yeah.
That is like blacklist from the Spurs community forevermore.
So who have you gone for?
So I've gone for Jimenez. FPL.
Safe pick.
Oh, be quiet with your I'm going to improve my squad with Alonso pick. So yeah, Jimenez. Now I think I actually struggled a little bit with do I go with Jimenez or do I go with Jota, because I kind of feel like it's the FPL question at the moment is to which Wolves forward do you pick, and kind of feel like you're
neither based on last game week though.
Yeah, but if if we leave game week 29 aside, which I think we were all a bit surprised at what happened in that game, they have looked really good. Now, the reason I went with Jota, I went with Jimenez over Jota. I went around a comparison between the two of them on the members area on the FF Scout website, and over the course of the season, Jimenez wipes the floor with Jota.
Over the season, yeah,
77%, because Jota's had a couple of game weeks where he's got half of the points and half of his goals and stuff. So he has been really good for a couple of games, but it's not consistent. And I think for what we need from a Spurs point of view, we need a consistent goal scorer who would score consistently. We have people
like Harry Kane,
who's back in training. Did you see him kicking a ball?
I think he's still miles off, isn't he? Surely.
Did you not see him kicking a ball around?
I didn't think he was due back till April.
Back on the field kicking a ball around. I'll see you next week, Harry.
Gameweek 31 differential.
Oh my goodness! If he's back, he's straight back in my team. So I'm going with Jimenez on the basis that I think Spurs need somebody that's consistent, and also I just think that from an FPL point of view, my opinion, Jimenez is the better pick over Jota.
Cool, alright.
Who's yours?
So I've gone for, and again, artistic licence, because I don't think anybody, I wouldn't swap Firmino for anybody in the world. Don't give me this Aubameyang, don't give me this Kane, don't give me this, I wouldn't have anybody other than Firmino in that Liverpool side. However, a player that did improve Liverpool's squad when he was there is Danny Ings. Now, do I think Danny Ings would improve our squad right now? Possibly. Is he a better player than Origi? You'd have to say yes, based on the form that we've seen this season. And when he was at Liverpool, he was well liked by the fans. He just couldn't get a break with getting fit and being injured the whole time. And actually, we saw the reaction of the Liverpool players in the recent Liverpool versus Southampton game in the league. It was a few weeks back. After the game, there was hugs. There's a lot of love for Danny Ings, even from Klopp. So clearly, Danny Ings is He's a well-liked player in Liverpool. That, to me, suggests that while he was there, he showed enough to suggest that he would be a very welcome addition to our squad. But just couldn't get the breaks with the injuries. So, of course, we have to sell him. And, of course, he's not going to play regularly in front of that front three. So, reluctantly, we sold him. But I would have him back in the team right now. I'd have him in the squad for sure. So, Danny Ings coming in, not in great form. 1 goal in the last 7. However, he has the chance to put that right now that they're going away to Norwich. I do think Norwich... they look dead and buried, but if they're going to stay up Norwich, they will be looking at, goodness me, Southampton at home. We have to win that game.
It's their must-win game.
They have to win. They can't draw. They can't, eke out a 1-1. They have to win that game. And if they're going to do that, they're going to attack, and I think that'll leave space in behind for Ings. So if you've got Ings right now in your fantasy team, I would be tempted to maybe stick with him. Just for one more game week if you can. And I know he's out of form. I know he's not showing enough. I know that Southampton are looking poor as well at the moment. Maybe Southampton, one of those teams in the next few weeks, we're saying, are they on the beach? Are they safe? Are they kind of coasting a little bit? But away to Norwich against the Canary side that are probably going to push a little bit, maybe he just finds that bit of space in behind in that very Danny Ings way that we're used to seeing. So I'm going to hold on to him. 7.1 he's going to cost you in FPL. So again, not exactly cheap, but if you've got him, maybe just hold him for Norwich. So there we go. Those are the 3. So the 3 players that will improve Spurs. You could have picked from a very large pool of players. Remind the guys who you've gone for.
So Trent Alexander-Arnold, Willian, and the mighty Jimenez.
Very good. All right. And the 3 players that I think will improve Liverpool's squad are Alonso at left back as a squad player for left back. Bruno Fernandes, who maybe... let's see. Could come into the team. And Danny Ings then up front as well, that would improve the Liverpool squad. So there we go, guys. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Is it hashtag Team Lee, hashtag Team Sam, hashtag artistic license, hashtag cheating, whatever hashtags you want to use, get in the comments and let us know. And of course, let us know what you guys want us to talk about on the next Sam versus Lee. We've had a couple of difficult ones in the last couple of weeks, so thank you for picking one that actually we kind of just picked the players we wanted, which I kind of like.
Would improve the Spurs team. I've played by the rules.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And these players would improve the Liverpool squad, so I've played by the rules as well.
Said team, not squad.
Hashtag cheating. Guys, get in the comments below. Leave us a like before you go. And if you're new to Fantasy Football Scout, of course, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next time on Sam vs. Lee. Cheers.
Bye, guys.